Oh, yeah. So welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone from inside and outside Egypt to the second edition of the weekly RSI Briefings series that I announced a couple of weeks ago. Today, it's a very special session because I have two of the legends of the RSI industry. On business level, they are really professionals. On personal level, they are really angels. I would like to usually call Relina that she's an angel, and Feder, he's the super guy there. So welcome, Relina, and welcome, Feder. It's a great pleasure to have you both with me. Representing one of the very promising and strong platforms in the RSI industry, which is Verspeak, that I was really honored to get certified on and also to practice work on it and working with you guys. So welcome on board. Thank you so much for your time and for your acceptance to be with me in the show. Just a quick updating on the format of this webinar. So we will have a very interesting interview with both of you. And this might gonna take us around 20 to 30 minutes. And afterwards, you kindly, as you advised us, that you will show the people the interface of the platform and how we can see the virtual booth for English Arabic booth on Verspeak. And also we can talk about how people can get accredited and get started working on Verspeak. So are you guys ready?
Yes, sure. Thank you very
Perfect.
much, Dina. Thank you for the great introduction. And it's a really great pleasure and honor for us to be the guests of your show, of your podcast, whatever. It's your channel. And so we're really pleased to be able to share our experience, our view on Verspeak with your audience, with Arabic world, with people all over the world. So and we really think that we will be able to share, to explain your audience how we work, why people should join Verspeak, why should work with us, and we'll try to show the best features that we have and answer all your questions.
Perfect. Thank you. So if you guys are okay with it, we can just start with the questions. And Relina, are you ready? Can we start with you?
Yeah, sure. Hello to everyone. My name is Relina. I'm happy to be here as well. Right.
Super. So Relina, she's the project leading manager at Verspeak. And from that concept, I'd like to ask you, the first thing is, what does Verspeak mean? What is the connotation of that name?
Yeah, it has the connotation, has elimination. I hope that will help you that this word consists of two words. Speak is just like, I think, clear, and verse, it's like verses, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it's versionist is a person who was bringing new words into the language. So, for example, there was in the sometimes before, hundreds of years before, there were travelers, so they were traveling to different countries. They found something new, some totally new objects for their country, for example, and they brought this word and this meaning to their culture, to their language. So this we try to give this sense to the name of our company. And yeah, we think that interpreters are not only people who know two languages. Interpreters are much more. They're really skilled, professional, highly trained people. And that's why, and interpreters are the first and foremost for our company. Because probably you know that Verspeak, our motto sounds like made by interpreters for interpreters. That's why we even included the the interpreters to the name of our company.
Perfect.
Yeah, we believe that the
great.
interpreters gives new notions. So that
exactly, yeah, because from out of the experience, they just tell you what they need, what they look forward to have. For instance, if they experienced other platforms, what they found that they were lacking, and then you can just fill these gapping so you can come up with the optimal experience to them. And yeah, this is really interesting. And I would actually also acknowledge that I found on Verspeak, apart from the huge great features that you have, guys, but also you have one of the very, I think, important features, which is not even available at any other RSI platforms, but we will come to this later. Before coming to this, I'd like to ask you then, if we're going to define Verspeak, would we say, for instance, that it is an event platform, or is it an RSI platform, like a dedicated RSI platform? So how do you define Verspeak?
Yeah, so speaking about Verspeak itself, probably you know that our company was founded several years ago, before the pandemic and before the viral growth of and viral appearance of different RSI platforms. So we actually were one of the first on the market, and that's why the idea of Verspeak was purely RSI platform. But after the pandemic, we realized that market needs something more than only RSI, because yes, RSI was really great for the offline events before the pandemic. It was a great solution, but during the COVID times and during the total lockdown, it became obvious that people need something more. Not only great interpretation service, but also they need video conference and so on. That's why we understood it quite early, and we are transforming ourselves into something more than just RSI platform. We're now working on some other features. In particular, we soon be launching our own video conference platform. So we'll be able not only to broadcast the interpretation, but also we'll be able to broadcast the video streaming, and so we'll be totally complete video conference system with professional interpretation feature.
Now this is great. So now we can say that Verspeak at the early stages used to be just a dedicated RSI platform, just providing the interpretation services. But for sure, because the competition in the market is quite strong, so you started to think out of the box and how you can become being like providing holistic or comprehensive services. So now you're moving towards being one of those event platforms. So you'll be able to host the whole event from A to Z, providing the interpretation services.
Right. Yeah.
Right. This is amazing, because not all of the RSI platforms, for the time being, not all of them do this. And maybe this will take us to one of the very also interesting points, which is Zoom. As you know, Zoom, even Nimdzi, if you know Nimdzi for sure, has published just a couple of days ago a new map for the technology market in the whole world. Right. And they were doing a sort of comparison between the RSI technology market in 2020 and in 2021. And it was really exciting to see that we've got lots of other RSI platforms that been just, in less than a year, they have been published, and they have been, they are already in the market, they are working, they are having their own services. So the technology is there, and the increase of those RSI platforms, it just, has no end. So it's very important to see how you can be, to keep yourself stand still in front of your competitors. So what you just mentioned now, Feder, it's really important. And maybe I would also like to ask you, what about Zoom? Do you think, because Zoom is still there, I think it's one of the very strong competitors in the whole market, despite all of the other, defects that they have, but they are fighting strongly. So do you think that Zoom could be a sort of integration to Verspeak, or it could be just one of your competitors?
So yeah, definitely Zoom is a giant on the market. But Zoom is not an RSI platform. I know that sometimes some issues call Zoom RSI, but it's not, as we know, as we interpreters know that, because yes, there is interpretation functionality, but it's like
Lacks a lot of.
completely not adapted for the interpreters. It's only made from the point of view of the client, of the participant, but it doesn't consider interpreters' point of view at all. So, but Verspeak is a remote simultaneous interpretation platform with video conference feature. So that's how we position ourselves on the market, and we think that this feature, the great functionality, the convenience for the interpreters, this is something that very few of other companies in the market have, and definitely Zoom doesn't have this functionality. And as far as we know, they work towards the automated interpretation AI software, but they don't work towards the development of functionality for interpreters. So that's why, yeah, that's how to say, that depends on the point of view. But from one point of view, yes, Zoom is competitor because it's on the market, but on the other hand, it doesn't have, and probably will not have, the functionality for the interpreters.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Yeah. So since Verspeak is made by interpreters for interpreters, so let's talk about your relation with interpreters.
Yeah, sure. Verspeak was developed by interpreters.
Yep.
Yes, I am a professional translator and interpreter myself, and I've been in the team since the early days of the company. And we always create and develop our booth, considering the requirements and the requests, feedback from interpreters. We even sometime before, I think in the beginning of this year, we had a series of workshops which were attended by hundreds of interpreters, and they were testing our platform, they were testing our booth, we were getting their feedback, and based on that feedback, we have implemented quite a number of new features that made the booth much more convenient. And yeah, so for us, of course, the clients are important, but we always look from perspective of the interpreters. We always check if this or that feature would be convenient for the interpreters, and so we always have interpreters in mind.
And maybe this really illustrates why you guys have this very special spirit when it comes to, dealing with interpreters. So when I first of all, when I started to deal with you, I found that you do have something special. So this is now maybe, making great sense, because yeah, you do have the experience, you have also interpreted. So, and this also what I think makes Verspeak one of the very fast growing RSI platforms in the market, considering the fact that you provide the feature of seeing your booth mate, which is not available in any other RSI platforms. It was really interesting to know that, yeah, I can hear my booth mate, that's fine. I can hear the floor and my booth mate at the same time, that's fine. I can control the volume of the voice of my booth mates. Okay, those also are provided by other platforms. But to see my booth mate, it's like, simulation to the actual booth in reality. It has a great impact. So yeah, this is really one of the very interesting things. Apart from the amazing colors that I told you, Relina, about, that I
Yeah,
love the
yeah, I
colors of
remember
interface.
that you loaded very much, right?
Yeah, so this is really amazing. So what do you guys think about the future of RSI? As you know, it's now like we have two modes in parallel, the F2F and the RSI. We can say the RSI in the time being, just, it's like stronger than the F2F, because we do not have actual conferences on site like we used to have before. But later on, do you think that they both will still working together in parallel, or maybe RSI will take the lead? Or maybe we can get to automatic or machine interpretation even. So how do you guys see this in the future?
I'm
So
not
yeah,
sure.
that
I'm not sure it is
this is
possible. Not in the nearest future, I think,
Okay,
actually.
that's fine. Yeah, that's
Because
positive, I believe.
you know that artificial intelligence, it is self-educated for sure, and all the world is working on it. But actually, sometimes we have a context that we need to know more than you can interpret in some kind of way. And sometimes we are speaking not directly, and here we need to get the sense. I'm not sure that artificial intelligence could uh, change the interpreters in total. Maybe if you want to translate something
Mhm.
shortly, you can use artificial intelligence, but I'm not sure that interpreters could be changed by the artificial intelligence. Not in the nearest future, I suppose, because we get the S, we started from the name of our company, their version is, even from their old times, all the new notions appeared. And I think the same in the new world. We get new notions day by day. And I don't think that artificial intelligence is possible to do it right now in the nearest future. Actually, it's my opinion.
And I do agree.
yeah,
Yeah, I do agree.
yes, definitely. So it's impossible to replace the interpreters because um, no machine can understand a human being better than another human being. That's definitely. However, we think that, and we really can see it and we experience it, that the machine learning and artificial intelligence is developing really fast. For example, if you remember Google Translate, even
Mm.
Google Translate 5 years ago, it was total disaster.
Yeah.
But if now you try DeepL.com, for example, it's you can use it
Yes.
already. It's not so uh, terrible.
Mm.
So
That's true.
of course, um, as I said, it's impossible to replace the real interpreter, but we think and we assume that sometime in the course of like 10 years, maybe we may see the development of artificial intelligence interpretation systems that would be quite decent, so to say.
Yeah.
That's our opinion. But
Hmm.
again, I should repeat myself that it's impossible that the real life interpreter can be replaced.
Mm.
And speaking about the RSI and the real life offline conferences, uh, definitely RSI platforms are now with us forever.
Hmm.
That's the no option. We reassure that yeah, you remember like 3 or 4 years ago, before the pandemic, it was something new, something unusual, something people were
Afraid of.
didn't understand what it is. Yeah, they were let's say concerned
Mm.
Yeah.
about this, but now it's become the everyday life tool,
Mm.
and more people start using RSI platforms. So definitely, we think that in the course of several years after this pandemic is over, we will see aggregated conferences, and so with people joining remotely and interpreters joining remotely, somebody will be on site, somebody will be in the comfort of their homes. So we think that this is the future of interpretation sphere in general. Yep. But of course, offline traditional equipment interpretation will not disappear. It will be there, but the its percentage and the popularity will be decreased. So the sure. RSI will take its share of market.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. So talking about these then, let's talk from the perspective of, let me say, junior interpreters who just, found themselves just all of a sudden, like, in a new word that they haven't even experienced its old version. So they try to prove themselves in the market, but they didn't know how to start. And for sure, we know that, as we just said a while ago, that there is ongoing investment in RSI platforms. Every now and then you will find new platform appeared, providing very competitive services and so on and so forth. So what do you think maybe that we can advise those interpreters, the junior and also the senior ones of them? Because also senior interpreters, we have, huge margin of them that they still keep themselves in the on-site mood, and they are afraid of getting into this kind of technical world or technology domains. So I try every now and then to advise them that they need to get themselves into that world and start to get to know what it's about, because it's the future, more or less. Yeah. So how can interpreters, from your own personal experience, Feder, how do you think that interpreters can get themselves into this world, and how they can get real tasks and assignments on this RSI world?
Yeah, definitely. That's the case that we have experienced several times. We have a lot of cases where, for example, I have my my acquaintance, my colleague, who used to be working offline all the time. He was quite a successful interpreter, one of the best in his region, going in and out of the conferences all the time, traveling all over the world, lots of clients and so on. So the life of successful interpreter, it is really interesting and full of emotions and so on. But then the pandemic comes, and from time to time I reached out to the guy asking, how you doing, what's going on. All he told me was, I don't have work, no clients at all, nobody's carrying out the events, everything is on Zoom or WhatsApp or whatever, remotely, distant, and so on. And it was even before I joined Verspeak, and I was telling him, why don't you try the RSI platforms? There are lots of them. He said, I don't know, I'm not very technical skilled, and so on. Then I persuaded that he should join a good pair of headset, have stable internet connection, and we onboarded the guy, and now he's having the assignments every week almost. And he's back to his positions that he lost when the pandemic started, and he's benefiting from RSI platforms. And he says, why I didn't start this from the very beginning. And yes, so as I said before, we have to be flexible. Interpreters have to be flexible in this regard, because whether we want it or we don't want it, that's the real, that's the fact, and that's the real life situation. There's nothing we can do about it. The whole world cannot do anything about it. So we're not an exception. That's why we have to be flexible, no matter how sad it sounds. Yeah, and speaking about the onboarding and joining the RSI platforms, I think we, as Verspeak, we made a big effort in terms of possibility for interpreters to join us. We've got really convenient, probably, as Dina, you know about this, really convenient the tutorial that you spend like 15 or 20 minutes to learn our platform, know it from scratch, from A to Z, and you are able to start working. So it takes 20 minutes to be onboarded, and you are ready to go. That's one thing. Another thing that sometimes comes to our mind is that we all interpreters have and had their clients that they used to work with, and anyway, if there was a demand in interpretation before, there is still this demand for the interpretation. Yes, it's less, but it still exists, and interpreters also could play their role in this regard. For example, I'm not saying persuading or insisting, but at least suggest their clients to use RSI platforms, because first of all, this will be much more convenient for the interpreters themselves, and probably the clients will see, and they definitely will see, the benefit of RSI. It's much more convenient rather than video conference platforms. And this also can be kind of training or teaching for the clients. So that, because many of them don't even know, and they don't have idea that there are such platforms. But interpreters, they may suggest one or another platform, the platform that they feel comfortable with, so they can suggest that, hey guys, let's work with this thing. It's really great, and I like it a lot, and my interpretation quality will be much higher than using Zoom and WhatsApp in different years, for example. Yeah, so
perfect.
That's what we think about it.
Yeah, exactly. This is exactly also the same thing, or like the same approach that I try to do. And maybe this also what the whole, notion about this initiative that I try to, to get them into this world, into this market, to try to let them know how they can be there, how at least they get some of the information about those platforms and how it works. So this is really great. Right. So in that regards, because, some of those platforms, they do have, the accreditation and the training tutorials and videos to interpreters. So interpreters can get certified and accredited, just like what you also have in Verspeak. You do have the same training, facilitation, the accreditation process. So do you think that this kind of what we can say feature that you provide to interpreters means that you will only work with your certified interpreters, or also you may work with other interpreters? So for instance, if you have a client that wants to do a certain event on your platform, and that client, he already does have his own interpreters, but those interpreters, they are not certified Verspeak interpreters. So in that scenario, would you ask that client that those interpreters should be certified first, or you can just insist on using your own certified interpreters? How does that work?
That depends. If the client suggests their own interpreters, so that we just ask the client to send it to title to the interpreters of this company to pass it, and then to have a technical meeting, the same that we had with you, Dina, so that yes, we can learn another new interpreter if they want to be in our interpreters base, and as well as we can teach and learn the interpreter of the client, so that yes, so an interpreter is going to be certified at the end.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
got you.
So
As long
that
as they have passed the technical part.
right.
Yes.
And for
So
sure, is they need technical support, they're always welcome to contact us if they need to check some kind of the function or something else, so that it's open.
Super.
Sorry,
So,
further.
yeah, sorry, go further.
just wanted to add that we by no means we push our interpreters ahead of the client's interpreters. If the client has their interpreter, we train them and we teach them so he becomes Verspeak certified interpreter, because this here is a very thing difference. We certify interpreters to work with our platform,
Yes.
but sometimes we hear the interpreters say that how can you certify an interpreter if you are not authorized to do so to say, and we don't do this. We do not we do not assess, and we do not check the proficiency qualification of an interpreter. Yes, as interpreter, we only make sure that this person as interpreter can work with our platform. That's
technical.
What we do. And the certificates that we the certificates that we award interpreters with only certify that interpreter can work with Verspeak.
Yes, yes. Right. Sufficient and fair enough, but this may be going to take us to one of those tricky situations. For instance, I'm Dina, I'm a fresh graduate from, any sort of those interpretation or language academic studies, and I have no conference interpretation experience at all. But I just, knocked your door and I asked you, Relina, to give me a training because I want to get certified. And you kindly have given me the training and I have passed the technical assessment and I have become a certified interpreter. But again, I have no conference interpretation experience before. And then we got a client, who asked for your service, and you contacted me for providing the interpretation for this event or whatsoever. And then because I do not have, previous experience, so my performance was hesitant. I was not up to the expectation, all of those things that you know. So what would be the situation then? Would you send me feedback stating that, Dina, you were not really doing properly, it looks like you haven't got confidence enough, and so on and so forth? Do you follow this kind of approach, providing feedback to interpreters? And if you find that they were not really competent, maybe you can, just get them uncertified, or have you passed through such a situation before, or
happily, luckily, we haven't had such experience. Actually, I can't remember any case when we got negative feedback about our interpreters that we have invited. Well, the quality of their interpretation, and of course, when we get a request to find the interpreters, we get in contact with them. We check their experience. We check their profile. We try to find some feedback from the previous clients. So we do a lot of investigation work, and we have a short interview with the interpreter, and of course we do the certification procedure just to make sure that interpreter feels comfortable with the software and with the hardware at all. Because if it's the first time you work with interpreter, you never know, maybe this guy is technically not very skilled, so to say. So we check this as well to make sure that during the event itself, when interpreter has to 100% be concentrated on the event. All this technical stuff doesn't cause any troubles.
Yes, perfect. Right. So, Fedor and Relina, I think this is really interesting, and it was a very informative interview. I hope that everyone has gained a new piece of information. And before I come towards the last question of my interview, I just would like to take a look on the chat box to see if we have received any concerns or questions that we haven't covered.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very
Right.
much, Dina, once again.
Yeah.
You're most welcome. Right. I see that, you know, they were just like, yeah, there was no actual question, or maybe the only concern that we got here was about how to see my booth mate that we just talked about. So I think we're going to go through this in the booth interface that we're going to experience just in a few minutes from now, because I'm not sure, maybe guys, you haven't noticed this, but actually Relina and Fedor will take us in a couple minutes from now. I think they will take us into inside the booth of Verspeak to see exactly how it works and to see how you can see your colleague and so on and so forth. Right. So before doing this, then just a final question, Relina and Fedor, or not really question. It just if you have a word to Dina, a special word to Dina, anything to myself, you're good to go.
I want to say thank you that you invited us here. It's very important for us. It's very interesting as we're communicating with you just for, I'm afraid to be mistaken, just 2 or 3 months. We already worked with you, and as we already discussed with you, you are the first Arabic interpreter certified from Egypt, so that it could be like a like an award. Yes, RSI award. Yes, we're very happy to work with you, and I hope that you and other interpreters will be pleased by our platform as well that we're going to show right now with Fedor. That's it, and I wish you to have good appointments, to have more clients, and to develop the community that you are going to develop in the future.
Thank you so much, dear, and thank you so much for the announcement.
Thank you. And from my side, I would like to answer the question of Ola Taher. I'm sorry
Ola
if
Taher. Yes.
Mispronounced it. Yeah, so the question is, what are the tech skills to have RSI interpreters, to have as RSI interpreter? So there is no need to have any special technical skill. You only should be able to open a link that we send to you to our booth, and you only should be able to connect your headset to the computer, to your PC or laptop, whatever. And for somebody, it may sound weird that we speak about this, even because, yeah, that's that goes without saying. It seems that everybody must be able to open a link in Google Chrome or Firefox or whatever, but it's not actually. And we know, and we have worked with many interpreters that have troubles to open a link or open the browser window or change or set up the sound settings. So yeah, that's we don't speak about any special requirements. So it's just standard computer user.
Super.
Do you want me to switch on the demonstration on the screen?
Yes, please. Yeah, if you could do that.
Fedor, is it okay?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Yes. Go ahead. Okay, so I need the organizer to allow me to do it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, good. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to show it to you. So it looks like we're sending to the interpreter the web link that he or she can open in Google Chrome or Mozilla, any of these two. It looks like this. Here you will see the name of the event. Actually, you are pointed at. Now we are speaking about, here you can set the anything you want. For example, if I want to disable everything, I want to have like a good sound. Here you can see the hotkeys that you can use during interpretation, but we will see them again later on. So here I'm entering my name. I will do it for Dina And Verspeak, so that here I can choose the language pair I'm going to work. I will choose English Arabian, so it looks like this. Now you see that Zoom is broadcasted to the booth. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Everything I'm showing you the interpreter can see in the booth as well. What you can see here you can see the interpreter's window. So you will see as many windows as many interpreters will enter to the booth. If you work alone, for sure, you will have only your window. If you have a partner, you will see two of them. What you can do inside of the booth, you can, do you see the booth?
We do, yeah.
Okay, good. So that's it. Sorry. Yeah, you can switch on the mic so that you can see that my sound is moving on, and this is like jumping green one thing. So that the partner will see that I'm speaking something. Also, what he or she can do, they can see myself. Do you see that? So that if someone enters to booth, he or she will see me as well, so that we can see each other with my partner. So Fyodor, can I please ask you to enter as well?
Yeah, just a second.
Do you want me to send you
I'm logging in.
a link? Okay, thank you, because I want to show some kind of functions. That's it. What you can see below is that this is your panel, that you can manage. First of all, we will speak about the important ones. These are the languages you are going to interpret for. It's English or Arabic, because at the beginning, as you remember, we have chosen this language pair.
Yep.
Fyodor, welcome. Say booth. Now, so now you can see that
Hello.
can see me, I can see Fyodor as well. That's it. So that, for example, if the floor is the English one, you just need to press Arabian and choose the interpretation to Arabic language, and vice versa. What also you can do is that to get on air, you just need to press on air. That's really easy. Yeah, that's really easy. What I can do being on air, here you can see that I started to interpret. I can mute the not desired sound. For example, if I want to make a sip of water, or I want to carve, or I want my partner to help me with some kind of word, that's just like a little hint, so that I can press the mute. I can press it with my mouse, or I can just keep the space. It just is an option, so that the attendees who are listening to the interpretation will not listen to me. It will be like a silence, but for your partner, it will be like everything that you are saying right now, or coffee. So that your interpreter, so that your partner, if you did not switch off this mic, will hear everything. That's it. Also, for example, it passed 20 minutes, or I'm tired a lot, and I want Fyodor to help me, and I'm asking, take please, Fyodor. So that Fyodor will see like a blinking red takeover, and so right now he is on air and he's interpreted to English channel, and for sure he can do the same thing to me. For example, please pay attention. Do you see that it's going to be red, the language the Fyodor is interpreting to? Now it's English Arabic. Yeah, it's jumping. So that it means that when you are air, you can change the languages you're interpreting to. Now do you see that Fyodor is asking me to hand over? So it looks like this. It's red blinking take over. I'm choosing, okay, for example, now I need to interpret to Arabic language. I'm choosing the language and I'm pressing take over, and you see that I'm on air. What it means that just only one interpreter could be on air. You can make the handover in two ways, just using the take please, or you can do it a little bit aggressively. You can just press on air. For example, now I'm not asking to hand over Fyodor, but if he presses on air, do you see? He hand over the on air. So that you have two ways. You just need to agree with your partner which way is more comfortable for you. So for using take please, as we did before, or to use just to handing over on air one by one. Way you can do it, you can write it here in chart like this, so that you can communicate with your partner. The chat is available for everyone who is in this particular English Arabic booth. no one else will see it, so that you can communicate all the time. What also you can do, for example, you have a presentation, you can minimize the interpreter's window, just pressing the window like this. You see? So now we are just have like imaginary interpretation from TEDx, so that now you will see how it works. For example, now Fedor is interpreting. And what we can do also is that to have the relay function. Now the flow, for example, is in English. And for example, it changed to Japanese speaker. Sorry for tautology.
No
we
worries.
have a Japanese speaker, so that when we do not understand the language, we have the partner who's interpreting in the same conference from Japanese to English. What we do, just pressing relay, and now this automatically switched to Arabic language, and we will listen to the interpreter who's interpreting from Japanese to English. I hope that's clear. What also you can do? Yeah. What also you can do is that you can regulate the volume of your partner. The same you can do for the lecturer. You can regulate the sound. And what is good is that sometimes when we have quite not really loud speakers, we can combine the settings, the regulator inside of the booth together with the laptop or PC. Actually, that's it. I suppose that I missed nothing. And also you can upload the files you are going to use during the interpretation session if you want. And it looks like here just uploaded like a test document. Here it will be seen like this, and the speaker you will see here in a small square, but then when you press it 2 times, so that the speaker will be full screen and your file will be minimized, so that what we can upload your notes, your glossary, or any other documents or presentation you are going to use during interpretation. That's it. Maybe you have any questions going on?
Yeah, and of course, probably the unique function of our booth is the dictionary.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's okay. Please continue. By dictionary.
Yeah, so we have a unique button which is called dictionary, and by clicking on it, the interpreter can get the translation of a word that they may need. So far, we only have the English and Russian, because we mostly work with English-Russian language pair, but upon interpreter's request, we may upload and connect any dictionary to our booth. So like English, Arabic is not a problem at all.
Yeah, and I can really say that this is one of the unique features that you have, apart from the video features that I can see my booth mates. But also the dictionary feature is really interesting, and I believe it could be a real great help if you also could add other languages than Russian. So yeah, this is really amazing, and thank you so much for taking us through it. I think now people started to know why I usually say Verspeak and why I usually have this kind of special spirit when I talk about Verspeak, because the interface is really, really interesting. Yeah, I love it. I love it too much. So I think maybe let me check the chat box if we have.
Yeah, we have the questions, and the audience in the platform can see the interpreters. Yes, right. Yeah, you can see just each other. It's not available for the speakers or for the participants you're interpreting to, just for the booth mates. And the regulation of the sound, yes, right. That's only for you. It means that, for example, during the interpretation, if your booth mate decided to call to someone and it interrupts you during interpretation, you can low down the sound of your booth mate so that it will not interfere to your interpretation. Yes, it's especially for you. The same is for the lecturer, the speaker that you have seen the left upper corner. This is especially for you. That's only for you. You can regulate as you wish to make it very comfortable for you. I suppose that there is no questions.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, totally comprehensive answer and nothing else to add. I just wanted to say that I see some questions in the chat, and I'm sure that the audience will those who will watch this recording on your channel, they also will have many questions, but I think the best way to answer all the questions is to take our tutorial, and we'll be happy if you Dina, share the link to our tutorial with your audience, and there they will have a chance to get all the information that they may need. It's really comprehensive, and of course some of our staff, Ralina or me, will be able to answer any questions that the potential interpreters will have.
Perfect. So yeah, I absolutely would like to share the link, especially for my participants that are joining us now. So I do not have the link by hand. So Ralina, if you do not mind, if you could grab maybe the link for the tutorials, and please share it in the chat box so they can just.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Just a second, please. Yeah. Please continue. I will share it in chat.
Perfect. So, guys, I'd like to thank you loads of times again, Relina and Feder, for your time, for your great information, for the spirit that you guys have, for being always friendly, and for the great insights that you exposed for the Verspeak platform. I'm 100% sure that everyone is gonna now understand why I have a great belief in Verspeak. And Relina, thank you so much again for sharing the link in the chat box. For all of my participants here, it's like, sort of like a present to you guys. Go ahead and
thank you very much.
And thank you so much again, guys. The recording will be uploaded shortly today on the YouTube, and the link will be shared. And one more time, I cannot get enough of both of you guys. You know that I really respect you, and I really love joining all of the tasks that you guys provide me with. So thank you so much for your time again. It was really precious, and looking forward to see you then later.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dina.
Thank you.
Sure, we'll have lots of projects ahead, and we invite everybody join our team, our pool, and we'll be happy to work with all of you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dina, and all the participants who asked the questions and participated with us today. Enjoy their time.
Thank you, dear. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.